Sparkle. If you guys have been subscribed to my channel for a while, then you probably know I'm engaged. I got engaged like literally 6 months ago, so September 23rd was when he asked me to marry him. If you want to know where he asked me, how he asked me, and all of those backstory type details, I did already record that video and I will put it in the description box down below for you guys. And if you guys want to know anything about my ring, I did record a video just about my ring. Also, I will link that in the description box down below for you guys. I have held off for a while on starting my wedding series just because I wanted to make sure that the ball was rolling on our actual wedding, and we knew that we weren't going to be able to get the ball rolling until about now. We are going to get married September 2nd, 2018. So our wedding is coming up at the end of the summer. Today I just want to go over everything that I've kind of been able to do, the things that I've been struggling with, and then I also just want to kind of give you guys a couple tips and tricks. Our wedding is going to be less than $3,000. That is our ultimate goal, and the average wedding in America is about $30,000 or more, I want to say. On the cheap side, it's usually around $10,000. It's because we honestly don't want to spend that money. If you are someone who has $10, $20, $30, $40,000 to splurge on a wedding, I think that's amazing, good for you. But I also think it's really awesome for people who make weddings more sentimental and more about the people getting married than about all the materialistic stuff. So I want to go over how we were able to keep our venue, our cake, and all of those like really big priced items in our budget. A lot of venues have regulations on pricing and things like that, so they have on seasons and off seasons. On the on seasons, it can be $1,000 more than the off season. So if you want to save a little money, you're probably going to want to get married on the off season, and that was kind of where we were at, because we were thinking, okay, we'll get married in the springtime, like April, May, right before June hits, because June is when everybody wants to get married and it's the summer season. So this wedding venue we checked out right after we got engaged. As soon as February and March rolls around, we're gonna call this venue and we're gonna book it. So just last month I called this venue that we loved so much. It was all outdoors. They literally had like doves they would release when you kiss, and there was like a petting zoo deer thing where you could go back and pet the little deers that they had. It was just like a fairy tale little cute outdoor wedding, and we loved it. They wanted $2,700. That's not including tax, and that's not including caterers or anything else. You're literally just paying for this outdoor space for 12 hours. So that was $2,700. So we're like, okay, we have that in our minds. Like I said, I called them back this last month. They're like, oh yeah, sure, we can book your wedding, but it's gonna be $1,000 more. It's actually $3,700. We've changed management and raised the price. Sorry. And we were kind of like, you know what, just forget it. Like, that's ridiculous. So we ended up kind of dropping that venue. We looked at a couple other outdoor venues that were around our area. This lady wanted $1,000 to rent out her front yard pretty much for like 8 hours or something. But it was such a crappy front yard. It was so small. My fiance is like, so where's the bathrooms? Like, where do all of our guests go to the bathroom? And they're like, oh, well, we'll order some porta potties for you guys. And we're just like, oh my gosh, like, this is horrible. So we kind of left that venue kind of low-hearted, feeling kind of depressed about the whole situation. Then that was kind of when we realized, like, this isn't gonna work. We have to be creative in finding a venue. So we looked into Airbnb houses, and we also looked into my grandparents' house, because my grandparents lives on 4 acres. So luckily we were able to talk to them, and we are gonna actually just do our ceremony and probably our reception at my grandma's house. But we also looked into Airbnb. So Airbnb houses, if you guys don't know, there's an Airbnb app, and they're kind of popular right now. So it's basically normal people who just rent out their houses nightly. So there's a check-in time and there's a checkout time. A lot of these houses say that they're okay for events. So when you're on the search engine, I will put a link in the description box down below for the Airbnb website that we've been looking at, and these houses are all over the place. Some of them are apartments and some of them are on 20 acres of land. One of the regulations for this website is some of these Airbnb houses have a minimum night stay of 2 nights or 3 nights. Some of them even have a minimum night stay of 6 nights. So you really have to look into that, because yeah, you might have to stay 6 nights to stay in that spot. But don't get me wrong, there's a ton of Airbnb houses that are 1-night minimums. So you just have to look into it. I'll put a couple pictures over here of the houses that we were looking into. They are beautiful, affordable. Most of the houses that we were looking at are like $200 a night. A night. Venues want like $3,000 for 12 hours. So that was just like a huge breath of fresh air. These people are saying you can throw events there. They don't mind if you have ceremonies. They don't care if you have a reception there. So that's kind of what we're planning on doing. If we do decide to do a reception in a separate place, we're just going to rent out one of the Airbnb houses. And if we do our wedding and our reception at our grandma's house, then I'm definitely going to get an Airbnb house for afterwards, just like after our send-off, because these houses are beautiful. They have hot tubs in the back. You get way more privacy than if you're in just like a regular hotel or resort or something. So I feel like it's kind of a win-win situation. These are also great for honeymoons. I've read a bunch of reviews of these Airbnb houses in like Hawaii and around Disneyland and things like that, and people use these houses for honeymoons as well. If you're looking for creative ways to kind of keep your honeymoon in your budget, then that's also a great thing to look into. Okay, so the next thing is cakes and all that. So I already picked out my cake. It wasn't that hard for me, honestly. My mom owns a bakery, which I'm so thankful for. So yeah, she owns a bakery called Forest Fairy Bakery, and I'm actually the cake decorator there. So I've kind of had it in my head, the cake that I've wanted for a while. I'm gonna put a picture over here for you guys. So I could make my own wedding cake, but I'm not going to. My sisters are also trained in decorating cakes, so I'm just gonna have my sisters make my cake for me. I also picked up more on the simple side cake so it wouldn't be a huge burden on them. But in all honesty, I think naked cakes are beautiful and so simple, and I don't know, I just think they're gorgeous, especially for outdoor weddings where it's more kind of on the rustic side. If you guys are looking for an affordable way to get a cake, I know cakes are extremely expensive, I'm not gonna lie. The easiest thing I would suggest doing is finding a family member who loves baking, who can make you like a naked cake, something really simple like this, that they don't really have to put all this effort into decorating. They're just flopping frosting in between and putting fruit around it. Something like that can make it really easy. Another thing I would suggest is doing a candy bar or doing cookies or something like that, because you can make cookies days before. You can do a huge batch of them, and then you don't really have to worry about cutting them. You don't really have to worry about plates and all of that, so people just pick up cookies and eat them. The other thing I want to go over is dresses. Oh my gosh, you guys, my dress is here. If you guys have been subscribed to my channel, I'm sure you've heard me say multiple times that I got my dress from China, and I'm so excited to review for you guys. So I got my dress off DHgate. My dress was only $256, but let me tell you, this is my dream dress. They didn't have this dress at David's Bridal. They didn't have this dress at any of my local wedding boutiques. Like, it was literally the dress that I had pinned off Pinterest a million times and was like, I want this dress. So I was looking on this Asian website. This dress popped up on this website. DHgate I had heard about before, and I definitely heard mixed reviews. But the fact that it was my dream dress and it was only $256, I was literally like, I have to get it. If it's not what it says it is, then whatever, at least I tried, because how can I pass that up? Like, normally if you're buying your dream dress, it's gonna be thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's like a steal to find your dream dress for $256. So I was like, whatever, if it comes out cattywampus, it comes out cattywampus. This is as close as I feel like I've ever gotten to it, so let me go ahead and buy it. So I bought it. It came in about 2 months, I want to say, and the lady was amazing. So when you're buying off DHgate, you really have to be careful because it's like eBay. It's not like all of these dresses are coming from one big warehouse. All these dresses are coming from independent sellers all over the country. Some of them, I think, are in different countries than China, but I think like a huge portion of them are independent dress sellers from China. So I was messaging this lady, and when you look on DHgate, you need to look at the reviews of the sellers. If the seller that you're going to buy from has any bad reviews, I would not buy from them. The seller that I bought, I will link her in the description box down below. Like I said, she was amazing. Her communication was so great. And I asked her, because on the pictures, I couldn't tell if there was any sparkle to it at all. I really, really, really wanted my dress to be sparkly. So I messaged her and I was like, is there any way we could make this dress sparkly? She was like, I can add sparkly beads all over the dress for $20. I was like, okay, let's do that. So after the $20, it was like $270 some. She did it. I got the dress. I had it sent to my mom's house. I wanted to record like actually opening it and all that stuff, but she opened it, which I'm totally okay with. I probably would have too. But she opened it, and I guess they had it like seal packed, And yeah, I tried it on and it's amazing, you guys. It is two-piece, like the over part does come off, and I feel like it was also such a relief to have my dress. Like, oh, just the fact that it's my dream dress and I have it already and it's done. I will put a picture over here for you guys. I'm not going to put too many. It's going to be a very fast picture because I'm going to do a full detailed review on my dress for you guys. So yeah, but like I said, if you're looking for an affordable dress, you can get really nice dresses from China, even though that doesn't sound the best, but it's true. A lot of the dresses that you're gonna buy in America are sometimes the same quality for 10 times the price. So if you're on a budget, look into DHgate, but make sure you're reading all the reviews, because like I said, it's just like eBay. Some sellers are great, some sellers are awful. You just have to do your research.